Finding the common thread in the midst of so many tragedies. Another Fort Hood rampage this week. The Navy Yard shooting a couple of months ago where Aaron Alexis, a crazed contractor, mowed down a dozen innocent people. To Aurora, Colorado, where a lunatic named James Holmes opened fire in a crowded movie theater, leaving another 12 dead. Even the Newtown schoolhouse slaughter, where a deranged Adam Lanza killed 26, and the list goes on and on. So now, the question, what do all of these horrific events have in common? The answer is these murders were all committed by people with mental problems. While the far left sets its sight on the Second Amendment, we focus on the real problem. Hi, everyone. I'm Eric Bolling. Welcome to Cashin. Our Cashin crew this week, Wayne Rogers, Jonathan Hoenig, Michelle Fields, and Juan Williams. Welcome, everybody. Well, it happened again. Innocent Americans having their lives cut short by a deranged madman. Jonathan, this shooter, Ivan Lopez, was on a cocktail of antidepressants and Ambien. He reportedly showed signs of extreme anger on his Facebook page under the name Ivan Slipknot, noting, get this, green light and finger ready. That's translated to go time, locked and loaded. So do we need to focus more on what's going on inside these killers' medicine cabinets and less on what's going on inside their holsters?
Well, Eric, these tragedies don't come about because of the availability of guns, but because of the mental health of a couple of real monsters. I mean, no one goes on a killing rampage simply because there's a gun around. They go on it because they're seriously disturbed, seriously deranged people. In fact, I happen to think that more guns, the more widespread availability of guns in movie theaters, on military bases, in schools, could have actually stopped some of these madmen before they were able to kill as many people as they did. But mental health is the explanation of these terrible tragedies, not the availability of guns.
Yeah, what about it, Wayne? All these young men were at least reportedly on some antidepressants and in some cases actually seeing counselors for depression and other ailments.
Well, Eric, the statistics tell us that approximately 46.4% of the people in the United States at some point in their lifetime are going to suffer some kind of a mental a problem or a psychological problem. So as the population grows, obviously, you're going to have more crazy people. If you got more people, you're going to have more crazy people. And percentage-wise, that has increased from 63 to 93 in a study that was done, that we know that there are more tendency to neurotic behavior. Now, I think that comes in, and it's, I think, once again, there have been a number of studies about this where the complications that are in the society today, when we were a bucolic, farm-oriented society, it was a much simpler thing. Today, it's a much more complicated thing. There's much more pressure on people to do certain things. The pressures get them emotionally, and eventually you have more crazy people. So I don't know how you stop that. Well,
Juan, one of the issues here, and Jonathan kind of alluded to it, these gun-free zones, they're target-rich environments. You look at military bases. You look at the Aurora, Colorado movie theater. There was a sign that says this is a gun-free zone, and we know what happened in Newtown, Connecticut, gun-free zone as well. Is it time to stop with the gun-free zones?
No, I think we need America to be a gun-free zone, Eric, and I'm amused that you guys are so quick to run away from the easy availability of guns as having some responsibility in all of these tragedies. You know, you're going to have people, you know, Wayne just made a great point about half of the country oftentimes has mental issues at some point during their lives. So what you guys want to do, remember, I'm the libertarian on this show, you guys want to get in everybody's life. You want to start telling people what they can do or can't do because of their mental condition. You're going to stigmatize anybody who's gone through a depression. I think that's wrong.
Hold on, guys. Well, the libertarian says follow the Second Amendment, which is our right to keep and bear arms. Michelle, you know, we're told not to judge the whole Muslim religion because of a couple of lunatic Islamic radicals. Yet, is the left, is Juan not judging every gun owner by 4 or 5 or 10 lunatic gun owners?
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. I mean, we shouldn't be punishing law-abiding gun owners for something that a few crazy people did. We don't have a gun problem in this country. What we have is a problem with untreated mental illness. If you look at all of the mass murders in America for the past 30 years, in two-thirds of the cases, the shooter had a mental health problem. That is the issue here. It's not a gun. It is the fact that people are mentally ill and they're not being treated.
Yeah, Juan, Michelle, I'm going to agree with Michelle. Michelle, a quick question here. Michelle, who is punishing any gun owner? Who is challenging your right to have a gun?
You just said that.
Every time a tragedy happens.
Hold on, guys, hold on. Juan, you just said that. You said we have a gun problem in America. We want a gun-free America. The whole country, you said.
Yeah, but we're not at the moment. The NRA is so strong we can't even talk about after Newtown reasonable steps to protect our children.
You and all of the Democrats in Washington rush to try to push your agenda. You take advantage of these tragedies.
Name one thing. Barack Obama, who you don't like, is president, and he hasn't done a thing about guns.
Because he can't. But he would if he could. But Americans had guns.
Hold on, guys. Hold on.
You are conspiracy-minded paranoid.
Hang on, Juan. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Yeah, Eric, look at the stats. We're talking about 10 deaths per 100,000 people because of gun violence. That includes suicide. It's a terrible tragedy, but you're talking about 12 deaths just from automobile accidents a year per 100,000 people. I don't know. I hope Juan doesn't want to ban automobiles as well. I would suggest an ulterior notion, Eric, than even the presence of antidepressant medicines or even depression at that, and that is the messages that these two groups who, at least lately, have committed these tragedies, soldiers and young people, are told. Our soldiers are told to sacrifice themselves for Afghanis, for Iraqis, for those harboring the enemy. They're told that their lives are meaningless. Young people, very much the same thing. They're told not to pursue their interests, but to build latrines and to fund entitlement programs. Again, their lives mean nothing. Perhaps that could have something to do with some of these terrible tragedies, the messages that we feed these two groups.
Go ahead, Wayne.
Well, at the risk of raising something that you all haven't talked about, you know, guns is not the sole weapon in the world. I mean, you give a crazy person a knife, he can carve up a bunch of people, too. There's all kinds of available weapons out there. This is not about a choice of weapons. This is about trying to control people who are nuts. And as I said earlier, the statistics tell us that you cannot control the number of nuts. The more people we have in a society, the more complicated our society becomes, the more nuts that we're going to have out there, and they're going to do something. I don't know exactly how you deal with that without curbing personal freedom.
We've run out of time, but go ahead, Michelle. You have one final thought?
When a tragedy like this happens, we're very quick to look at Washington, D.C. to try to find a solution. But I think what we need to do is be more proactive in our communities, because we are the ones who are best equipped at identifying people who have mental problems, our neighbors, our friends, and trying to be more proactive, not going to Washington.
Well done. Well done. Way to tie that one up, Michelle. Thank you very much. All right, coming up.